Tonight's podcast is brought to you by the Flint, Michigan Water Department, the most metal water department in all of the U.S., bringing you and your family high-quality water for over 0 years.
Welcome to this week's Good Old Gamers podcast. I'm Lyle McClendon. I'm here as always with the fashionable Brandon Gentry.
Go fuck yourself, everyone.
And we have a special guest with us this evening.
One of the founding fathers of Good Old Gamers.
The founding fathers of Good Old Gamers, indeed. Mr. Josh Duncan's back with us.
Hey, didn't I get kicked off this podcast?
You did. Way to make us feel like a bunch of assholes.
That's what I'm here for, right?
I mean, we are a bunch of assholes, so that's good.
Yeah, that's why I got kicked off the podcast, because we're all a bunch of assholes.
Valid points taken. It's January 30th. It won't be by the time you hear this, but just so you know, that is the date that we are recording.
Time has passed.
Time has passed. It is Saturday evening.
So have my bowels.
Indeed.
You hope.
I do.
For good health, shit daily. We're going to kick it off, as always, like we do here, with a little bit of news. Xbox One controllers, the Elite ones, are back in stock. I seen that today.
Hey,
yeah, I know.
Like,
that,
I
know that you don't give a shit. Right?
I like the Elite controller. Like, it's really cool.
I messed around with Heath's at Vaults the other day, and at Vault the other day. I liked it.
Yeah, they're really cool. The fact that you can just, you could change out the buttons and change your configuration. It's something that, like, I know with the PC, you can change out everything you want at any time you want. So why not go with, if you want a concave, stick, if you want a convex stick, go with it.
My only thing with it is for the price point, it better jiggle my nuts.
That's one I asked. You like it, but you like it for $100.
It's more than 100, is it not?
No, I think it's right at 100.
I thought it was 99.
I'm not sure. For some reason, I thought it was like 130 something.
Well, a lot of
probably incorrect on
a lot
that.
of peripherals.
If you're gonna pay 130 for your controller, you might as well just buy a fucking Wii U.
Or a HOTAS.
Another valid point. Thus continuing our fanboyship of Wii U. Go buy one if you don't own one. You don't know what you're missing. What do you got for us, Brando?
This Super Mario Maker news. The hardest level, or supposedly hardest level, has been beat by a YouTuber named Grand Pooh Bear.
Should have been Grand Pooh.
The guy who made it is the guy who I mentioned a while back who beat like this super ridiculous Super Mario World level that he made. That Super Pangea Panga. You look up the video of it. It's one of them. It looks like it's a tool assisted, but it's not, because you can't tool assist on Super Mario Maker. It's just all this crazy ass, like, using items to jump around and not fall to your death, and just split second timing, bouncing off walls and horseshit. It's insane.
Known to cause high blood pressure spikes.
What's funny is you look at those tool assisted runs, and then you look at some of this Mario Maker runs, and it's basically the same fucking thing.
Yeah,
it's nuts how
I
good
just
people
still
are
do
at
not
it.
give people credit for tool assist speed runs on old shit.
I
I still say that motherfucker that holds the record on the Mario speed, or, well, maybe not the kid that beat it on YouTube here recently, but I don't support, like, people doing, like, speed runs on Mario on fucking emulated, like, ROMs and emulators.
I don't care if it's emulated. I just don't like it, the tool assisted part.
I don't know. I'm weird about all of it. I'm like, if you're going to do it on the fucking original hardware.
Well, I mean, at this point, getting original hardware that actually works, how many controllers do you know of that, like Nintendo controllers?
GameStop sells the shit now, though. Get on their website,
Yeah, but are they as good as the originals?
Or Vault Games.
Are they as tight?
I wasn't saying that like a GameStop sponsorship. I'm just saying that There is easier access to the older shit now because it's popular.
There is easier access, but again, like if you wanted to do a Mario run, you had everything you needed here to do it.
Oh yeah.
But if somebody who's like a normal Twitch player who mostly plays Smite, or
then stick to fucking Smite. Don't come into my Mario world.
Somebody's got their ass on their shoulders about it.
Well, yeah. Somebody's got to be willing to
put these young whippersnappers in their place.
Yeah, got to
get off my fucking lawn, my Super Mario lawn.
You're goddamn right.
Somebody just doesn't want to get beat, is all.
No. I mean, do you?
No.
Do you purposely want to get beat every day when you wake up?
I beat my meat.
I was gonna say unless it's beat off.
There's different types of beating.
No, I make them all the same. Someone's beating my ass in the corner. You damn right I got it out jacking it.
This is how I cope with things. Metal Gear Online has added quite. Oh goddamn! You didn't even finish your Super Mario Maker news.
It wasn't much else to.
Shit.
Just look at the video and see how fucking insane it is. I'm going to download it later. The guy's handle for the guy who created levels handles Panga, Panga. Just look it up. I've been playing some pretty damn difficult Mario levels myself lately.
You end up actually beating one of the more difficult levels here recently.
Yeah, the Cannonball Run. I got to where I can beat that thing no problem now. So
nice.
And
I've yet to play that game, but Jesus Christ, some of the videos I've seen are just insane. What they're doing and what you have to do to beat these games.
The one advantage that you can get on Mario Maker is you can download the level and then you can see every nook and cranny of it. So you can pick and play different parts of the level. So you don't have to start at the very beginning and run through and wonder what you're supposed to do next. Because some of these levels are so hard, it's not clear what you're supposed to do to get past something. Because you don't know what's next on the screen. So you can download the level into the editor and actually see the whole thing.
See the death, like where your most amount of deaths are and stuff.
Well, you'll see all the deaths when you just play it. But you can download it in your editor. You could edit the level if you want it. But you can see every hidden block, things like that. So.
All I've seen are just the videos of people, completing really hard levels. I've yet to see, I've actually yet to sit down and actually play the game or see the mechanics of it or how it works.
No one has yet to beat my level, the good old castle. So you're welcome to look me up on Mario Maker, Mafrael. Play good old castle. I want someone to beat it besides me.
I don't know anything about it, but I'd seen a little article that I kind of glanced over where one of the popular things on Super Mario Maker right now is making one-room puzzle levels.
I've encountered those. I don't like them. That's not Mario.
No.
Just like the stand still and
yes,
win.
I hate that shit.
Yeah,
but
a lot of those have been filtered out from the top. Now that's the top of the actual...
Well, that takes the whole fucking platforming element out of it.
If you look at top stars... It's still that horseshit.
Is it?
You can look by creators, though, the top creators, and you find more genuine levels that way.
You can follow creators, too,
Yeah,
so when they make new stuff, you can force those things out of your life if you really want to.
Yeah,
it just takes a little bit of work.
Yeah, and I don't like that. At least now it's easier. Before this recent update, excuse me, you had to go on, say, Reddit, or just Google people who made levels and follow them. Because the only thing there was is the star ranking. And, of course, the first 100 goddamn levels that are on there, they stay still. Oh, look, it's playing a song with sound effects type shit. That's not Mario levels.
It's Mario Paint.
Yeah.
The fucking platforming element is gone.
Yeah, and that's why I don't like those puzzle levels. I played a couple, and I'm sure I could have figured them out, but I didn't want to. It wasn't Mario.
Bummer. What I was saying was nothing major, but Metal Gear Online has added Quiet and 3 new maps.
Cool.
If you're into Metal Gear Online.
The perfect woman. She doesn't talk. She wears almost nothing. Yeah, she kills people.
She hums, and that's annoying.
Well, she can hum while she's got your meat in your mouth.
She can give you a old hummer. Yeah,
So it's consistently period week.
Bummer. Nintendo NX supposedly is going to launch with a Smash Brothers game. No word if it's going to be a remake or a new one or any of that.
They know that's a system seller now, so I don't know.
Well, they know Zelda's a system seller, and they've yet to put out a new Zelda.
Well, Zelda Wii U, I still say it's going to be a cross release. It'll come out on Wii U and fucking NX.
Zelda's got a great following.
So it's going to be the Twilight Princess?
I mean, They do that with every Zelda. If you notice, though, like every time Nintendo goes to start prepping a new console, they start prepping a new Zelda game. Just about every time.
But I'm saying the Zelda fan base it's always good and solid, but the Smash Brothers fan base is fucking fanatical.
Oh,
it's ridiculous.
Smash Brothers is going to be included on ESPN this next year.
Yeah.
So I was watching Evo. I think it might have been last year, year before last, where literally there was two Evo players, two Smash Brothers playing. The guys were playing. It got to where they were down to like one. I've never played Smash Brothers. I don't know how it works.
It's very difficult.
There's a point where the game is paused by accident, and the guy
that Pepsi opening.
The guy turns to the other guy, shakes his hand, and pulls his controller because he knew he had lost. And it was still like, he was still alive, but he's like, okay, there's no recovering from here. Like you know. And I've seen Daigo come back. I know it can be done in Street Fighter. But,
in Smash Brothers, you got so many jumps you can do. And how you die in Smash Brothers is being knocked off the map.
Knocked off the edge.
So if you're out of jumps and you're flying off the screen, then you're just out of the
I think at that point, the guy was just like, well, I've lost this, and he paused it, which I think it might have disqualified him anyway.
It depends on the tournament rules.
But, Evo, that's the tournament. So I think it was like one of those things where just as soon as he knew, like, okay, I'm dead, he basically paused it, turned to the guy, shook his hand, yanked his controller, and walked off.
I think a lot of my deal with Smash Brothers on my Wii U, I would be better if I had one of those GameCube controllers to play with.
Or a classic controller.
I suck shit. All I got's the fucking Wii U gamepad, and I'm not good.
I know on the Wii I have whenever we play Mario Kart, I have to have my Wavebird, because if I don't have my Wavebird, I won't touch it.
I'm fixing to.
I finally found my other two classic controllers that my stepson smuggled under his bed or some shit. So now I have 4 classic controllers. I'm very happy with it.
We need to have a Wii U
magazines under there. Did you?
No, I didn't.
We need to have a Wii U party one night.
We do.
Perhaps
we have
for our 1-year anniversary that's coming up soon. We're going to do
play
something.
with each other's Wii Wii's.
I was going to say, we can have a Wii party right now.
Ooh. We're not going to forsake this new home just yet. What's something else you got? I got one that I want to talk about, but you're going to talk about it too, so I'm just
going to
say
that for last.
Okay.
There's finally a new patch for Tribes Ascend for anyone who likes Tribes. Tribes Ascend is a free download, so you can just Google it and download it. It's a pretty massive patch. They've addressed like a lot of issues that's been plaguing the game for years. It's literally been years since the last update. So there's actually people coming back to the game now. So if you want to get back into Tribes, now's the time to do it.
Can you still kill people with drop pods?
Probably.
Then that's all that matters.
Yeah.
We just heard about this today. You'll be able to help us out on this a little bit, Josh. EA bailed on E3.
Yeah, they
is that something?
They've pretty much said like, hey, we'd rather kind of be. We'd rather bring people in who aren't just journalists, because E3 is, of course, it's press. It's press
release.
only.
Yeah,
you can get tickets, but they're hard to come by.
And the good old gamers are gonna get there one day.
Yeah, I'm not going to pay exorbitant amounts of money to go get advertised to, though.
Exactly. So it's one of those things where EA has taken the Nintendo route, and they've said, okay, we're just going to do, instead of having this big E3 thing, we're just going to go ahead and pull out, have a pre-E3 public conference where they do all their keynotes. They actually have fans in it, which I think is really cool.
EA has fans?
EA has fans.
EA does have fans. I know, like, my wife is really into Mass Effect and was crushed when she was like, oh, they had to patch. They made a patch for the game on Mass Effect 3 that actually extended the story, and she was like, it should have stayed where it was at. Because you want a story to be
your typical ruining of a sequel kind of thing.
DLC, buy it now.
Well, they did the Fallout 3 thing, where after Fallout 3 you couldn't play anymore, and then Fallout 3 patched, and now you can play past the story. And it's like, sometimes it's good to just end on, especially. spoilers.
A Mass Effect type game. Fallout makes sense. Mass Effect, I don't see a whole lot of point in doing
Just so everybody knows, Mass Effect 3 is a couple years old at least. At the end of Mass Effect, it's a suicide mission. Yeah, it's totally a suicide mission. And then after that, the game was over. Then they patched it and were like, we're actually going to do, this thing where you can play past it and get all these side quests and stuff. And to me, it ruins the game because you're supposed to do all that stuff beforehand.
Well, it takes the closure out of it, too.
Yeah,
especially a story-driven game that takes place across, like, 3 games total, 2 sequels. Like, with any trilogy, you want that closure.
Yeah.
And you don't, that just kind of fucks up the story arch part of it,
Yeah,
but I'm a big fan of movies, and they do that. It's the same way of like trying to milk a franchise beyond what it's worth. Yeah,
what they're doing sounds cool. My problem is it's EA. I can't think of anything they do anymore that I like.
The new Mass Effect Andromeda, which is I guess a startup of a second trilogy for them, is going to be coming up here real soon. And
I've never got into them games. I own them, but I've never cared for them.
Like I'm not in particular to them as well. This is not my kind of game. I feel the shooting is kind of spongy.
It is. That's what turned me off a lot.
Yeah, and a lot of third-person games I'm really not into. I liked Gears of War. It was a great third-person shooter that was really, really tight.
Yeah.
But
I'm a big Max Payne fan.
Yeah, Max
1 and 2.
Yeah.
I really like the Dead Space series.
Dead Space
quite
was
a bit.
nice.
Dead Space had such a good mechanic of don't just go for headshots.
Yeah.
You have to dismember.
Shoot the fucking legs off before the thing gets to you.
Right.
I love Dead Space.
I can't. I don't know right off what they're going to be showing off. I'm sure there's going to be a whole lot of stuff that they're. But again, it's more about being able to access something that would only be for press for the fans. Which I think is a step in a good direction.
It is.
A lot of dildos too. EA's got so much fucking money at this point. They can balk at shit like that without really.
Oh yeah.
Losing anything at all.
I think a big part of EA's problem is just their history of buying off smaller companies and destroying them, just consuming them.
Well, I mean,
a lot of people.
If you're a corporation and you want to make money, what do you do?
Oh, I mean, I understand it's a smart business move, but. That's also why a lot of people don't like them.
Oh, true. Yeah. No.
That's why you see message boards filled with hateful fucking commentary.
When you're the top dog, everybody comes after you, you know?
That's true. What else you got, Brando?
Saw that Funcom announced Conan Exiles. We're jumping on the multiplayer survival open world thing. Since that's kind of exploded with Ark.
Is it like a DayZ thing?
They haven't released a whole lot about it, but it's going to be where you're going to be building, growing crops, crafting weapons. One thing that I thought was awesome,
praising Crom.
Well, that's what I'm getting to is being multiplayer. You can sacrifice other players at God's altars and get some forms of blessings and stuff. So
nice.
That's cool. I really want to rip someone's heart out at an altar. There's not a whole lot of detail on it yet. I'm a pretty good fan of Funcom. They also have a lot of hate, but because they haven't made a hit game. I'm not going to say a great game because they've made some good games, but they haven't had a hit game in a while. All their games have sales wise, it has been kind of So I don't know. The early access is coming to PC this summer. It's going to be on consoles and PC after the early access, so. Maybe it'll be good. I don't know. There's so few.
Maybe it'll be better than that last Conan game that came out.
Which one?
Just Conan
for
360, I think. I had it on 360.
Who made that game?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Hold on just a second. I can tell you that.
It don't matter.
Yeah, I had it. One of my friends from school, Brett Walker, had actually bought me a copy of that at the time. And
it's just like a pretty crappy hack
and slash. It was kind of like Sword of Berserk for Dreamcast, but not near as good. You could bed women.
Oh
in
yeah,
that game.
That's going to be standard in the Conan game.
That was one of the best things about it.
Could you make their women lament?
You could by the right strokes. Yeah, vote Conan. 2016 elections. Praise be that Crom.
Funcom's also known, for those who don't know, is Age of Conan, their MMO, which they went the free-to-play route. It's got some drawbacks when it comes to that, but it was a decent MMO. I had some fond memories on launch day of just killing the fuck out of people on open PvP servers, so it's a decent game if you like Conan. It's chock full of whorehouses and beheadings, as Conan games should be.
Indeed. That's the best part about it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, somebody, we'll get to it later on, somebody just text messaged me a question for our episode tonight.
Well, groovy.
So good. What else? You got
all I got left is our last bit.
Good. I wanted to, because I signed the petition for this. So, Nintendo's announced a new Pokemon game.
So far, Japan only.
Yeah.
3DS.
You want to enlighten us on this bizarre new chapter?
Oh, yeah, it's Detective Pikachu, which features a Pikachu wearing a Sherlock Holmes hat.
And this Pikachu is different from other Pikachus.
Yeah, it talks with like a manly voice.
It speaks.
It looks fucking horrible.
Is it as good as Lupin the Third?
I don't know. I'm not familiar with that.
I know what Lupin the Third is, but I've never watched it.
It's a great anime.
Cowboy Bebop is the only anime that matters to me.
That's a good anime too.
Berserk.
Oh, I like Berserk too.
Golgo 13.
Berserk.
We could look. Let's
Cowboy
stop,
Bebop.
Let's stop now.
Demon City. Shinjuku.
Yeah, we could do a whole episode on anime.
Good old anime.
Let's not stop.
Good old Tentacle Great.
Yeah. Tentacle Great.
I could tell you about some of my Bari.
I don't want to know.
That's strapless panties for anyone who doesn't know.
I'm all right.
That's the little Band-Aid things they wear over their vaginas.
Okay.
That's
all right. In this,
the more you know.
Yeah.
Rainbow.
Like Brandon said, Detective Pikachu is for Japan only. So far, but
that's the only place I see it succeeding.
there are some plans to bring it to the U.S. There's a petition going around right now that's pretty popular, and I signed it yesterday, actually, as a matter of fact. But if they there's a petition going around that if they bring Detective Pikachu to the U.S. for Danny DeVito to voice Pikachu for the game,
I might buy it if they did that.
I would. Like, I can just
but
imagine Danny DeVito
no.
like drinking wine out of a fucking Dr. Pepper can, like voice Pikachu, like, there's probably something over fucking there. Like, pull out your fucking detective notebook there, Steve.
Have they said what kind of game it actually is? Is it like
it's a mystery game.
Yeah.
Is it like Phoenix Wright almost, where you have
It's a fucking Sherlock Holmes game where they replace Sherlock Holmes with Pikachu.
Yeah, like it looked so fucking out of place. It's just
it looked like Nintendo was probably developing another game. And they were like, it's not going to fucking sell, so let's put Pikachu in it.
They're
That's
developing.
What it made me think. It's fucking. What was the Mario 2 in Japan?
Doki Doki
Doki Panic. Yeah, Doki Doki Panic. It's the fucking. It's like that, I think. They're like, let's just slap a well-known Nintendo character in it, and why else would Pikachu fucking speak like a man?
In the trailer I watched, he even spoke to a normal Pikachu that was all like, Pikachu! I'm like, what the fuck?
I'll have to watch the actual trailer. Like, I mean, in the Pokemon world, there are Pokemon who speak, like Meow for Team Rocket. There's very few that do, but there are some that do speak.
Yeah.
Well, it's awful funny how one guy's job is a goddamn detective. Like, it's not very convincing.
Who's going to solve the case of my father's murder? How about this fucking yellow rat?
If you can,
why not?
If you can
it's
shock
got a
anyone,
cute hat, it must know what it's doing.
If you can shock anyone at will, trust me, you have a
oh my god!
audience.
I just had like this mental image of like some guy tied up to a chair in the basement with nipple clamps on. Pikachu shocking him.
he's just holding them like, are you going to tell me what I need to know? Be like, oh, no, never.
Pikachu.
Fucking, you ever seen the movie Scanners where that dude's head just fucking explodes?
You
didn't do any detecting. You just killed his ass before even asking me questions.
Can't put me in jail. I'm a fucking Pokemon. You can't drive me in the court of law.
Not unless this is an
I don't
Alex
even
Wright
exist
game.
in reality.
Wait, Phoenix Wright. Alex Wright's a wrestler. My bad. It's Phoenix Wright.
Yeah, it looks dreadful.
Yeah, I wasn't too... I'm like, all the shit you could give us, Nintendo, this is what you're fucking, announcing
This
right
is
now?
why the Wii U has it sold.
Let's
You've
do
been spending all your time and resources into this fucking Detective Pikachu game.
I can just imagine it's like, meanwhile, in the office of Nintendo, they're like, what the fuck is this?
Are they Arab?
Oh, well, no. Well, if they are, it just...
ISIS is... They're total Pokemon fans.
ISIS just comes in with a fucking Pikachu with bombs strapped. Pick up!
Gotta catch them all.
Yeah.
Pokemon was the pokey of the man in the thing where the guy comes out of the feet and he makes the fall on the side.
Thanks, Bill Cosby.
And then they need to have Bill Cosby in that game. He can voice it from prison.
He likes pudding.
Hey, he won
Putting his dick in anything he can.
he won his defamation case.
Yeah, whatever. He's still
He's a rapist. Yeah. No, we're cool. We're cool with him calling a rapist, but let's not defame him.
Yeah.
Well, that's it for our news segment. Yes. I guess I'm going to go ahead and knock out Vault's Game of the Week.
Vault's Game of the Week. What is Vault's Game of the Week?
Vault's Game of the Week is Pokemon Emerald.
Nice. It's a Pokemon game. I'm not too familiar with Emerald, though.
Pokemons.
My wife's name is Emerald. That's about that. All I know about that.
Now, there's like a period of Pokemon games I'm just completely unfamiliar with.
Okie dokie.
The last Pokemon game I played, I think, might have been Diamond. And I got to a point where they had to...
I think that was my last one, too.
They had to do a fashion show.
Yes, that was miserable.
I was like, no, I'm good.
Pokemon Emerald. I was having to look up some stuff.
That's GBA, right?
I literally know nothing of the game. It is GBA. It is actually an enhanced remake of Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire.
Okay, so it's like yellow to red
Yeah,
and
exactly. It's like the yellow to red and blue.
The best Pokemon is definitely yellow.
That was a pretty good one.
Yeah,
I'm still partial to blue. I had that.
yeah, red and blue.
I've got red, blue, and yellow, but I think yellow was the best one.
I didn't like the Pikachu follow me, though, because I never cared for Pikachu, especially Detective Pikachu.
Oh, I was
you bastard.
I had the Squirtle, man. Like, I'm down with the squirt.
You had the Squirtles.
I'm down with the squirt.
I made it funny. In Pokemon Emerald, it's the same as other Pokemons, I guess. You control a Pokemon trainer whose general goal is to traverse the Hoenn region. And, of course, you got to conquer a bunch of gym masters and all that.
It's a classic Pokemon game.
I'm sure it's pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
all Pokemon games are good until they add all the bullshit of the fashion shows.
I've heard that the new ones, that's optional. So if that's not your
good.
thing, just skip it.
I don't remember which one it is. A friend of mine let me borrow it. I have it for DS, and it is. Again, it's a good game up until you hit that point where it's
I'm pretty sure I had Diamond as well. Is that the one that had Dialga or whatever?
I had Diamond.
I think so. I'm not quite sure.
You had to do the fashion show once, but still, that was miserable enough.
Yeah, absolutely. I was like, and it was, you couldn't just optional.
No, it was mandatory for the story.
And I was like, I don't want to do this. Like, I want to catch Pokemon. I want to battle Pokemon trainers, and that's it.
Yeah. I was going to say something. I'm just going to wait on this. Go down to Vault. Call David a bitch.
If you do go to Vault, be sure to call David.
Request David by name, and when he comes to you, call him a bitch.
Yep, you should do that. He gets nervous about calling in to us, I think. So call him a bitch.
Yeah, call him a bitch, and then buy a Pokemon Emerald.
And then buy it. Yeah, don't go into Vault if you ain't gonna buy shit.
Yeah.
Period. Vault.
No,
They got a pretty wide selection. Of shit.
Yeah, I usually end up coming out with a little something every time I go, and I always want to spend more than I should. But
it happens.
Yeah,
I
they
mean,
got a lot of shit.
That's the thing of video games.
And you never know what they're going to have every day.
No, they cycle shit in pretty regularly.
Yeah.
They got Atari 2600 all the way up to PS4, Xbox One, and everything in between.
And we don't mention this often, but Vault Games is in Coleman, Alabama.
Yeah, it is.
This is our good
Don't
local
judge
mom,
us.
local mom and pop store.
They also have a vape store, if that's what
Vault
you like
Vapes.
doing. Check that out.
I'm into a Gape store. Do they have that?
I don't think that they do.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure Coleman doesn't.
We
offer
have
one
some
of those
German
yet.
listeners. They might be able to hook you up with one.
Yeah.
One of the best in the world.
9. But going down the vault, check them out. See what all they got. They'll be happy you did. Tell them the Good Old Gamer sent you there if you're relevant to North Alabama and want to check them out.
Yep.
But anywho, now on to my new segment. It's not completely replacing Arcade Arcana, but I figured with our topic being Neo Geo tonight, that I probably didn't want to talk about a possible Neo Geo arcade game. So we're going to do What's in Your Hands?
You want to guess what's in my hands?
I don't, actually. I can smell it from here. But it's a new segment I'm doing where pretty much I'm wanting to cover, if you tuned in last week, I'm wanting to do a handheld game pretty much because we don't really get the chance to talk about handheld stuff a whole shit ton. So the game I've been playing this week is actually really badass, and it's a very cheap game. You could probably find a copy at Vault. That's where mine come from for like $5. It's called the Legendary Starfy. It's an actual Nintendo game made and published by Nintendo. It's developed by TOS, I think that's how you pronounce it. They did the Game & Watch series, and it's published by Nintendo. Pretty much, the game I have it's for Nintendo DS, original DS, and it's you play as a starfish, and it's pretty much it's a mixture.
Now, what was the name again?
The Legendary Starfy.
Okay.
It seems like I remember that Starfy game on Nintendo.
There's in Japan there's like a whole series, but the only one we got here, I'm assuming, is the Legendary Starfy, which is the 5th game in the series, actually, from what I gather. But you play as Starfy, the starfish, and it's an odd mixture of Mario and Kirby, kinda. You're sleeping in bed, and this rabbit that's wearing an astronaut suit named Bunsen falls through the roof of your house and wakes you up. Well, he's confused and doesn't know what the fuck's going on, and just knows that there's people on him trying to,
Make rabbits do?
Yeah, catch him and do him in.
Conies.
And he doesn't remember anything, and slowly as the game progresses, little bit by little bit, everything comes back to him. And there for a while, even when Starfy and his friend, the clam, Mo is the name of the clam.
Is he a bearded clam?
No.
Oh.
He's just a very disgruntled yellow clam. But pretty much y'all save Bunsen from these people that's trying to kill him, and he thinks you're the bad guy because he's so confused. He's still like, oh, y'all are trying to get me too. You're the bad guys too. So there's a good while where you go through the game and you have to you pretty much convince this rabbit wearing an astronaut suit, a space suit, that you're not the bad guy. Gameplay pretty much is Starfy can be on land or in water, but in the water you can hold down the B button and make him swim faster and more agile. And the attack button is kind of like Mario's spin maneuver on Super Mario World when you're wearing the cape.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like that, but you spin through the water and you hit enemies and, of course, kill them. There's plants that float in the water that hide treasure and all kinds of shit like that. You can spin by them to knock the leaves down to, display what's hiding behind the plant. There's basic platformer shit. You go through doors. There's boss battles.
What kind of bosses?
Well, I've only made it 2 worlds in. It's like Mario in the fact of you got World 1-1, 1-2. It's got an overhead map, just like Super Mario World. The first boss I encountered is a giant squid. And there's certain levels where you have to swim through the level, and the squid will be on the bottom screen of the DS, sticking his tentacles up,
Oh, that's cool.
trying to hit you. And you have to, like, swim between them, and when they go to hit you, you have to spin maneuver it, to, like, knock the arms back and swim past it. You can actually combine with the rabbit. The rabbit has a special ability that the starfish and him can become one new being. Like,
does it result in some freak of nature, like the fly or something?
I wish, but
Is Jeff Goldblum involved?
you can turn into
They merge together, and he's just like, "Kill me!"
It looks like one of those things on the table in fucking Alien Resurrection.
Kill me, please.
No, you can be a ghost, a dragon, a chicken, or a seal with an ice tail.
I know if I had to choose from them things, I would go chicken every time. Fuck dragons.
Yeah.
I like the dragon. The dragon's actually the first creature you turn into. I've been
So they blow their wad right at the beginning?
Yeah. I've been the dragon and the chicken. I have not been the ghost or the seal yet. There's also a shit ton of mini games that are shit ton. There's 5. 5 mini games that you can unlock, and
5 is a metric shit ton.
Well, good deal. I've only unlocked 2 of them though, and out of the 2 I've unlocked, there's one called it's like dumpling maker or something, and you just make fucking Chinese dumplings using the stylus.
So this is
kind of like a cooking mama kind of mini game.
I like some cooking mama.
Dude.
I love some cooking mama. That's some good.
I
that's
can
some
make
good
the
stuff.
fuck out some dumplings on this game. Let me tell you, I made like 36 the other day, and they're like, "Wow, you're really special."
Why don't you make some dumplings in real life, shit, son?
Well, I might have to here in a little bit. I did eat some Mickey D's earlier. Make some old porcelain dumplings. But it's a good game to check out. It's got all the charm of like your typical Nintendo platformer. It's cute. It's fun to play. It's got a bunch of hidden shit to unlock. There's a bunch of secret levels, side paths. Like I said, I've been playing for a week now, and I'm to World 2-4, I think. And I think there's 5 to 6 worlds, so there's quite a bit of gameplay left ahead, but really good, really cheap. Like, you can get it for $5 all day, every day. So
I just want to say
that should be something in your hands.
I just want to say between the clam and the starfish and the dragon and what else you say, rabbit, it totally sounds like all food to me. Dumplings, like, because I can eat some clam, I can eat some starfish, if you know what I'm talking about, and
Chocolate starfish.
Damn right.
Drink some hot dog flavored water too.
Well, there, Limp Bizkit, calm down.
We're never gonna make a Limp Bizkit reference on this fucking podcast ever again.
Wait, a chainsaw?
Shh. Shut up.
What? A chainsaw? What?
Cut your ass raw. Stop. God damn it. But check out Legendary Starfy. It's pretty good.
That sounds pretty cool.
Like I said, you can get it really cheap. If you emulate, I'm sure you can find it. You can probably find the rest of the series on emulation, which I've only played the one I'm talking about. So,
Well, what a loser.
that's what should be in your hands, not what's actually in your hands.
Oh.
It's my penis.
You fucks.
Yeah, my penis, or his penis is in my hand.
I'm glad nobody can get the visual I'm getting right now.
They'll hear it soon enough.
Not like a fat man stroking off a skinny guy.
Heck yeah.
Degradation.
Cushion for the pushing, son.
Well,
We're going to get our own topic tonight.
we do need... Well, do we want to get on topic, or is that what we're going to do?
Yeah.
Okay.
The way we've always done it.
Okay. Well, we're going to talk about our topic then. I'm glad Josh is here with us,
Yeah,
because
because
I'm seriously limited in
and I
this.
am almost completely inexperienced in this subject.
Okay.
We're
let's-
talking Neo Geo.
Let's
by the way.
let's start out by saying somebody called me a pony boy, I believe is what the phrase was used.
Dude, okay. let's just get this straight right fucking now.
Let's clear the air.
In my defense, I was intoxicated, and I didn't. The Pony Boy reference was intended for somebody else, a literal guy that looks like a literal Pony Boy.
I do know who it was intended
and
to.
I got really mixed up. I have to apologize. You have to blame my alcoholism. You cannot blame me.
Oh no, I would only blame that alcohol gut I have sitting in front of you.
Well, I didn't mean to call you a fucking Pony Boy.
As you reach for my fireball.
Yeah, we'll put this fireball down my throat.
Okay, so
You're not the Pony Boy. There is another.
Just to clear the air, I'm not an expert in this particular field.
You're compared to us.
Well, comparatively,
yeah.
Like that's like saying I know more about a certain big blue box department store than y'all do, because that's where I work for.
Yeah,
I know more about Photoshop than probably both of you. So it's relative, but I do have what I like to call Listomania.
Yeah, this is something we actually need to address. When all great guests on talk shows and such usually have their shtick about them, I guess. So every time
I would call it a shtick, yeah. Every
time Josh comes on to be with us from here on out,
he's gonna shtick it to us.
He's gonna shtick it to us and have
you make it sound so dirty.
A semi-regular or semi.
Was it clean?
Regular? No, it never is.
No, it isn't.
It smells.
Pungent. Stings the nostrils.
I got a chill from that one. Pungent.
We're gonna let Josh do a Listomania.
Listomania, brother.
It's like a top 10 of Listomanias for all you list fanatics out there.
It's a top 10 that technically usually it won't be 10 because I like to add stuff and subtract stuff. So let's
before we
Okay.
get on to this list, let's give the people a brief, kind of like a brief history of what Neo Geo actually is.
We can do that.
Because there's a lot of confusion in the Neo Geo shit that you can get.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
So the Neo Geo originally launched on in fact, tomorrow would be the date that it launched on October 30th.
October? What the fuck? Talk about me being a drunk. What month are you fucking in?
I actually am drunk. January 31st, 1990.
That's also mine and my wife's anniversary.
Nice. But were you in Osaka, Japan in 1990?
Yes.
Well,
Brandon
that's where we met playing Neo Geo.
Brandon gave money to the Kickstarter for Neo Geo, and he owned that. SNK stands for Brandon Gentry.
Wow. That is the strangest abbreviation I've ever heard.
It's from Japan.
It's an anagram.
Yeah. Okay. So so yeah, it was launched in January 31st of 1990
in America.
No, in Osaka, Japan.
This is saying it was released April 26, 1990.
I didn't say it was released. I said it was announced.
Okay.
It was released in April 26th of 1990. That is when the home market started releasing. It was officially launched. Usually it launched to... There's a thing called the Neo Geo rental service, which was launched to mostly hotel chains. It was... I had an opportunity back in the late 2000s to buy a Neo Geo hotel a hotel set that was about $700 of and it took 50 yen coins, and it was amazing. But again, in the late 90s, I didn't have a whole lot of money. I wasn't very stable, so you live and you learn.
The big deal with the Neo Geo is Neo Geo come out as an arcade console.
It was an arcade console and a home console that basically was the same exact thing.
The arcade console was the MVS,
the multi-video system.
You were able to swap out boards on the fly in this console, making it very consumer friendly for people that didn't know jack shit about arcades.
And it saved shop owners from having to buy multiple cabinets.
Indeed.
Yeah, it saved on floor space. It came with I believe it was
4 slots on most MVSs, right?
Yeah, actually it was 1, 2, 4, and 6 slots machines. It literally was a cartridge. I mean, it was just like your average Nintendo. It was if you open up an MVS system now, you look at it, and it has between 2 and 6 cartridges in it. You just clicked them down into it. It was just like any other.
It's like putting RAM in a computer almost.
Exactly. It's
easy.
It's very simple. My holy grail is a 6-slot MVS. Like, that is something I really, really want. If anybody's got anyone, totally want one. If anybody has one for sale,
this man has coins.
I do have coins.
In a purse.
A lot of coin.
Don't question him.
But let's see.
The MVS brought about the AES.
Yeah, the AES was the Advanced Entertainment System, which was the home market.
A home console. And y'all, I mean, y'all know, Neo Geo, the home console, didn't catch a foothold at all.
It did not.
Because it launched with a $649 price tag.
Which, adjusted for inflation, is about $1,100 right now.
And I am going to do my best to get my hands on one for Game Fest.
Well,
I might do my best to break into your house and like mace you and just be like, I'm not Lyle.
I have my very first game on Listomania would be one that if you happen to find, you can make some bank on. But
just about all, by the disclaimer, all cartridges that work in the AES, or you can still look at paying between $100 to $200 per fucking game this thing.
They are prohibitively expensive.
The Neo Geo, long story short, for a collector's point of view for retro consoles, is the fucking Rolls Royce.
It's what we call a cult.
Consoles.
It's what we call a cult following.
It's very expensive to collect for.
Now, luckily, I actually own 147 of the 148 ROMs that were originally released for the Neo Geo. It was also the longest produced for system at 14 years that is currently to date. There was a game that came out in 2004, and that was technically 14 years after it was released. So it has the longest longevity. I guess that would be what you call it. But
longest shelf life, maybe?
Production run.
Production run
is technically what it's called. But the games are prohibitively expensive. Luckily, I own them all on a MAME cabinet, which is as Lyle fondles his MAME cabinet.
Mm-hmm.
The only one I don't have is a Mahjong game, and it really isn't worth.
Who gives a fuck about Mahjong in America?
Old ladies.
I like
Mahjong.
Mahjong.
In America. Yeah.
I actually like some of the Mahjong games that I have on my MAME cabinet, as long as it's not.
You got them titty Mahjong games?
Yeah, I do have quite a few of those titty Mahjong games, and as long as you know how to play Mahjong, then technically
I don't.
My schlong. Yeah.
There's a difference between Mahjong.
Everybody knows how to play that.
There's a difference between Mahjong and Shanghai, and it is totally different. Shanghai is basically a match game. Mahjong is actually like a card game. Shanghai is what most of the games that come on MAME, and they can work. But Shanghai is totally different from Mahjong. Mahjong is super hard, and I have no idea how to play it.
No good.
So the Neo Geo came in 2 or 3 different flavors. There was the 330 Max Pro spec. That was 330 megabits.
And just so everybody knows, technically, they most of the Neo Geos, right? They advertise them as 24-bit consoles, right?
It was a 16-bit processor with a 8-bit coprocessor. I think Xylec was the secondary processor. I don't know right off. I'm not going to quote Wikipedia because I don't have anything in front of me that says exactly what it is. I'm just doing this.
I remember they touted. I remember old advertisements in a magazine I had that it was touted as like a 24-bit
and
console. 24-bit arcade power.
And it literally, if you took an arcade cartridge that went into the MVS and with very little modification, it was literally resetting a pin with a paperclip, pin PIN with a paperclip. You could pop it right directly into an AES.
Did the AES? Did it come with a packing game? Did it come with? Was it Magician Lord?
Yeah, Magician Lord, and that was the $650 version. Came with a Magician Lord. Magician Lord.
It better come with a fucking. I ain't gonna say that on there.
A blowjob.
Well, yeah, it should. Maybe it should have like
there was
a
worker
worker of SNK in the box with it. It's like, I'm here for your needs.
There was a slot you could insert your penis into.
Good.
It came with Magician Lord, and I can't remember right off what game it was. The secondary game. There was 2 different pack-ins. There was also the silver. That was the Neo Geo Gold. The Neo Geo Silver came with and also the Neo Geo Gold came with 2 arcade sticks because the Neo Geo never launched with an actual controller. It came with an actual arcade stick.
Yeah.
Because it's a 4-button, 8-way joystick, and
essentially the AES, it's a fucking broke down arcade cabinet you plug your TV.
It really is. You could take
that's hence the expensive nature of the.
You could take almost any arcade game if you knew how to reach in, pull out the control panel. You could reach in and grab every single arcade game out of there. And with very little modification, you could actually put it to directly to the Neo Geo. The AES, anyway. Let's see. The Silver, I believe, launched at $399, and it came with 1 joystick and no pack-in game. It was there was the 100 megabit.
Well, you got mad Southern right there.
Yes,
megabits.
It was there was the 100 megabit Shock, which was 400 megabits because it originally launched the 330 megabit or 330 Max Pro spec, which is the 330 megabit system. And then there was the 700 megabit Pro. That was the 716 megabit series that came out. That was literally with the arcade machines. A lot of the recent fighters that came out, like between 1998 and 2001, were 716 megabit. It used a 16 sprite. Instead of doing a tile map, it did sprite strips, which mean it had many more colors than a lot of the arcade machines at the time that came out. Basically, it was the prettiest. It was the nicest. It ran so smooth. One of the original games I remember playing for it was Puzzle Bobble, and I love Puzzle Bobble. Puzzle Bobble 2 is absolutely amazing. I have that on my Listomania. We'll get to that very, very soon.
One thing I wanted to say, I don't want to interrupt this actual information, but I absolutely loathe these hopped up marketing numbers because 700 megabits is 70 megabytes.
Yeah. Actually,
but at 700 sounds way more impressive.
It's a prettier fucking way of saying it.
But
it's kind of like Sega saying we have blast processing.
Yeah, but back then
in 1994, in that era, it was pretty powerful. Oh
yeah,
processor.
it was. It just back then I wouldn't have caught it, but these days I know marketing terms.
Neo Geo's fucking advertising campaign was very aggressive too. Like,
oh yeah,
they straight up had an ad. And I might get flagged for this. I'm not 100%.
You will. You're flagged.
I'm pretty sure they had an ad that was straight up like, "We got fucking balls, nobody else does." Kind of like, they were very aggressive at being like, Nintendo and Sega don't have shit on what we're giving you.
Yeah, they were.
Which they fucking shouldn't for $650 fucking dollars. Like,
and the Japanese market really was at that point like if you went to buy a Neo Geo, that was one of those things where only you had to have money to have a Neo Geo.
It's a boutique console.
It really is. Again, but
they had many. There were, which I mean, other than the AES and MVS, which is primarily what we're talking about tonight, there was a fucking Neo Geo CD, a Neo Geo Pocket,
Yeah.
and which have a pocket
And
sitting over there.
they have a sweet, I think it's a pocket to AES kit, which basically turns your pocket into an AES.
Yeah.
But you can't play cards. It is, you put in these little bitty like SD card sized games into it.
Right.
Really?
Yeah, and you get
That's cool.
joysticks and all kinds of shit.
I didn't
for
know
it.
that. There was also the Neo Geo X, which was a recent release.
Or maybe that's what I'm thinking. It might be the X.
Yeah, the X is the one where you got the handheld one, and you put the handheld. You can put the handheld console with the games preloaded onto it into like
An AES chassis, basically.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
I'm talking
yeah.
about.
And then
that's
there's
Neo
also-
Geo X.
There's also the Neo Geo Gold, which is basically just a Retron 5 of Neo Geo. It comes preloaded.
It's made
with-
by the same people from the Neo Geo X.
I
is
do
it
I
not?
do believe so, and it's a great alternative. I think it's like $100.
That's for the that would be something good for us on Game Fest actually, because having the games built right in. But yeah,
Okay. So we're gonna
just do your list.
Okay.
Listomania.
yeah, we're gonna start out start out. I say I didn't want to come through here and sound like Wikipedia because I
You
do.
got a page from Wikipedia printed off for me.
No, this was dictated to. I typed like a lobotomized monkey, so I definitely dictated.
Oh, I
to.
can see the grammar errors from here.
There are a couple.
It's okay.
Real like
but-
a simian monkey or like a primate?
No, it's totally simian monkey.
Okay.
Yeah. So a lot of these Japanese games are a little bit hard to pronounce to my lovely wife, who always can type much faster than I can. So let's go with the Listomania brother. By the way, you should be watching Botchamania because wrestling is awesome.
Come on, brother.
I don't want to go too heavy into the Hulk Hogan because it might be racist.
It's definitely racist.
Hulkamania was just like a total excuse to exploit racism.
So we're going to go in no particular order because these games are all good, and I'm going to say right now I'm going to skip over Samurai Showdown and King of Fighters because those are kind of the staples of Neo Geo.
Yeah.
I mean, all the Neo Geo fighting games are pretty good. I don't think there's a bad one in them. The King of Fighters is amazing, and so is Samurai Showdown. I think that's one of the earliest memories I have, which we have for later on, is playing the Samurai Showdown 2 specifically in arcades and having a whole lot of fun with it. But we're going to start out with Kazuna Encounter Super Tag Battle, which is
Super Tag Battle.
it's
You tag me, I'll tag you, we'll battle.
it has a great mechanic where there's specifically a tag zone. So if you are and essentially a good way to beat the computer is to keep them out of their tag zone. You can only tag in and tag out in a certain zone.
Mm-hmm.
All right, the game is actually a sequel to Savage Reign, which is another fighting game. The character is really unique. It's a great fighting game. It's single plane. A lot of the Neo Geo fighters are double plane.
Yeah,
I like the single plane better.
me too.
But the interesting thing about it is the European PAL carts, PAL carts.
Mm-hmm.
Go for about $12,000 to $15,000 because they only made about 15 of them.
No shit.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it's one of the 8 to 9 rarest games on the planet. The last time one came up for bid, I think it went for $14,000. The other one, I think, and it's kind of bottom of the list because it is a good game. I have it again on a main machine, so I can play it. But the original European PAL carts were very expensive, and again, 15 were made, so they're known to exist anyway. I think the one directly underneath that is Ultimate 11, which is another. It's a soccer game for the European PAL carts, which is for the Neo Geo in the European market, and I think it goes for around $8,000 to $10,000.
That's the only fucking sports game you will ever see sell for that much, other than like World Stadium events.
Yeah,
probably.
and World Stadium is up there. Like this is bottom of the list of really rare games. They found more copies of those games than they have the actual European, and it's specifically the European PAL carts for the Neo Geo.
Man, I wish NHL '94 went for that because I have it.
And that's such a good game too.
What, NHL '94?
Yeah.
Indeed, it is.
It's an awesome game.
It's the best hockey game ever made.
Period. The Kazuna counter has a real bout art of fighting system, except without the dual planes. So it's a pretty relatively simple system. All these are 4-button games. Most of them are, A button, B button are light and medium punch. C and D button are light and heavy kick attacks. Mm-hmm. A and B usually do something pretty cool. You can slap out these if you know what you're doing. You can take care of like button mashers, but and I'm definitely for some of these games I am a button masher. But
I think I am at all fighting games.
Yeah, Street Fighter Alpha 3 is the bane of my existence because I cannot do anything worth a shit on that game.
I'll remember which one to play you in next time.
Well, another fighting game is the Shingokitsu Ichizu Token, which translated is part of the Power Instinct series. It's called Matra Melee, which is it's one of the games that out of the entire Power Instinct games series of games doesn't have transformations. So there are a lot of transformations. You're going to be yawning right directly into the microphone.
I tried to turn my head. I'm sorry, I'm just tired.
What's really...
Don't lie to us.
My work today. Suck a dick.
One of the cool things is the game story. The game story of the king of the entire Power Instinct series is looking for a hand for his daughter. The name of the country is called Certain Country.
Certain Country?
Certain Country.
A hand for his daughter, like an actual hand?
No, the hand for the princess.
Okay, I was thinking like a hand, like in the finger banging position, like.
Well,
like
yeah.
thing.
Yeah,
she will feel what it is to be a woman tonight.
If you happen to play a woman character, it changes to a man. So as long as you're swinging that way, that's fine.
I definitely swing that way.
I like a finger when I'm jerking off. So
yeah,
there's nothing wrong with that.
I promised my wife the minivan for our anniversary. 1 in the front and 4 in the rear.
That's a fucking new one on me.
I don't know what cracked up more, me just thinking about the minivan or me looking at Lyle while he pushes the microphone away and laughs.
Dude, I couldn't help it. Like, that's not a minivan you want to park anywhere. Oh, that's fucking golden.
So,
that should be the name of this episode.
The minivan?
Help Buffalo Bill fucking move his Neo Geo in the back of his minivan.
God, you made you drill my beard.
Oh, shit.
So one of the more unique characters, and I believe anybody who knows anything about The Simpsons, the character is called Poochie. It's an anthropomorphic dog. And
like Santa's little helper?
More like Poochie from the actual Simpsons, except with a 6-pack and pecs. It's really interesting.
Sounds very Japanese.
Yeah, it's pretty Japanese. There's also a bloodline. You can, in the middle of a match, you can have a bloodline feud, which it's like a feud it's a fight inside of a fight. It's pretty cool that you can just.
That's an interesting mechanic.
In certain parts of the game, you can just like say as if there's a part of the super meter that is on the bottom. If both characters are in it, you can challenge each other to a bloodline feud, which I think it's like mostly EX moves. For anybody who knows fighting games, it's really, really great as far as the fighting game. It's really complex, and it's a lot of fun. The next game I have on the Listomania is Money Idol Exchanger, or Money Puzzle Exchanger in the States. This was released in the United States. It's a stacking game similar to Magical Drop, but
oh god,
Magical Drop's really fun. But you have to be quick about it. You have to know what you're doing.
You have to always hit that last drop like a split second.
Yeah,
before what you would normally think you would hit it. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. And Money Puzzle Exchanger is really cool because instead of the bubbles, you have coins like yen in the Japanese version. And European and US versions, they just use generic coins like 1, 5, 50, 100, 200, and 500. In the actual Money Puzzle Exchanger for the Japanese market, they use the yen coins. So if you know what a yen coin looks like, you pull down and stack, and it's a puzzle game where it's a puzzle fighter game. So you've got a second player that you're fighting against, and you have to make combos to actually go through and beat the other characters. A lot of the character names are really funny. I have them written down here. All of these are women. The character names include Exchanger, Debt Miser, Every Worker, Cherry Biter, LD Labor, Mite Dealer, Cokery, and Macker.
I like Macker and Cherry Biter.
Yeah. The game also has a lot of the Neo Geo tropes. Is a lot of English. So I have a couple quotes written down here. Let's see. One of the quotes is "Let's fight to computer!" And the second one would be "You put the same kind of items. That's okay!" English is great.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I work with a lot of foreign machines at work, and there's English on the back of them, like Barrett's bar.
Oh yeah,
it's written like that.
Yeah. I've got plenty more. I've got two pages here that I'm reading off of just to have some points to read off of. The next game is Neo Drift Out, which is a isometric view racer. It's the sense of speed on this game.
Is it Neo Drift Out New Technology?
Yes.
Okay, I've got that, but I don't think I've played it.
It's really good. The sense of speed is amazing. Like you can play it with none of these games you have to actually have a steering wheel with. You can do it with an 8-way controller, just like all the Neo Geo games. And the sense of speed is like ludicrous. It has such a good sense of speed where, like Super Hang On and what's another good like racing game with a wheel? What was that?
Outrun?
Yeah, Outrun. Yeah, a lot of the wheel racing games that you think of, they have really good sense of speed, but you have the wheel there to counterbalance that sense of speed. This is an 8-way controller, and it feels really, really good. It's really tight for a racing game, and it's a rallycross game. There's 3 games, which one of them is my absolute favorite car. The Mitsubishi Lancer, the Subaru Impreza, which is my favorite, one of my absolute favorite cars, and the Toyota Celica, which is, as I see now, is misspelled on my paper because my wife has no idea about anything about cars.
Hey, like me.
Yeah, I'm pretty out.
The Tom Celica.
Yeah, not cool. Well, Tom Celica goes pretty fast.
The only car with a mustache that'll beat your ass.
It will. It will beat your ass. I know this game. Me and Lyle, we've had several battles at.
I've been waiting on this one.
Neo Turf Masters.
Neo Turf Masters is so fucking good.
What is this?
It's a golf game.
It's a golf game.
Okay.
It is.
I think I saw y'all play it.
Yeah.
there's been many drunken nights of me and Lyle playing Neo Turf Masters.
That may actually happen tonight after this episode.
Oh, son, I will smoke you.
I don't know if you will.
It is the first of 2 titles by the publisher or developer Nazca, which
They also did Neo Drift, right?
the first of 2. The first one being Metal Slug.
To me, Metal Slug is the pinnacle Neo Geo game.
That's a great game.
Like, because, not pinnacle. I won't say pinnacle. That's like the most well-known Neo Geo game, other than like
Metal Slug,
Fatal Fury, or
Art of
King
Fighting,
of Fighters.
King of Fighters, Samurai Showdown.
Yeah.
That's the big ones, and I didn't include any of those on there. Not saying that they're not good. They're just
you need to branch out to the things though that you haven't heard from.
Well, and I like Metal
Heard
Slug.
of.
You know, don't get me wrong, I like Metal Slug, but they're not the top 13. And to me, I like a lot of fighting games, and we'll get down to the next one, which is Guru, Mark of the Wolves.
Not a clue.
It is basically an SNK fighter. Terry Bogard, Rock Howard, Joe Higashi, they're in there. But it's a single plane instead of a dual plane like Fatal Fury. Fatal Fury, again, I like the single plane fighters more than the dual plane fighters. There's a couple dual plane fighters that I like, but Guru, Mark of the Wolves, it's also a very expensive game. The original board cost upward of $200. And the original boards are really, really hard to find now. I know you could find them a couple years ago in Akihabara, but that's pretty much it. And I think they had one that was the crowning jewel of the Neo Geo throne that was in Super Potato in Tokyo. So yeah, that's really interesting. They introduced the top. It's called the top selection, which is there's a point in your life meter that has a certain section that you can make basically EX moves from Street Fighter, which is do more damage and you gain life off of them. And you get to choose where your top meter is. So say if you want to do playing against another character and you want your top meter to be towards the front, you would automatically start out in top meter. But then after you get below a certain life meter point, you didn't have that anymore, and you couldn't do as much damage. I know Terry Bogard for the AI started out with their top meter towards the very back, so you get them really close to being dead, and then all of a sudden they make a huge comeback. Mm-hmm. It also introduced the Just Defend system, which ended up into Capcom SNK games. It was like the parry. So if you press block directly as a hit is actually making contact, you gained life and you parried that move, and you could actually reverse moves into it. It's it's fighting game kind of jargon, but it
adds a little bit more of a tact.
Yeah,
to your fighting.
You definitely had to pay attention to frames. That was one of the games that started making me actually pay attention to frames.
That's something that I don't have the time or patience for in fighting games to get really good at. Is you got to know your frames if you want to compete. Yeah. And I just
figure
don't have
out
that
which
devotion.
Animation for fucking
know all your eye frames
next.
and your super armor frames, things like that. In a lot of games, I ain't got the time and patience for that shit.
To be honest with you, I can't say that I'm as good about it anyway. I'm not as good to compete. I can hold my own every now and then if I'm lubed up enough. A little social lube will go a long way as far as hitting that back button just at the right time. Right now,
social lube.
I'm always lubed up before I go for the back button.
Yep. You got a beer, you get bitched at.
On my sheet here, I believe it says I personally play as Kushnod Butt, which is a black karate fighter. Is again Kushnod Butt, because the name Butt is funny, and that's the only reason I play him. And
very nice.
I like your strategy.
Yeah. The next game I have here is Puzzle Bobble and Puzzle Bobble 2. I put those together because Puzzle Bobble is amazing.
Puzzle Bobble is pretty fun.
In fact, I have here directly quoted, it's Puzzle Bobble. It's with one of the best games in the world. And
so maybe you can clarify this for me real quick. Puzzle Bobble is a continuation of Bubble Bobble, right?
yes.
So did SNK do Bubble Bobble?
Yes.
Or they did?
Yes.
Did Taito develop it? And they published it?
Taito,
Taito, whatever.
Yeah. They
Potato.
they published it.
Tato.
Precisely.
Eventually, SNK kind of let that property go.
Okay.
So it was one of those things where Taito had developed it for a while, and then SNK had published it, and then it switched roles because Taito had gotten a little bit bigger into the publishing world, and then eventually they let that go.
Okay. All right.
Okay, I'm going to skip this one because I want to come to the very end. Super Dodgeball, which is the sequel to the original Super Dodgeball. It had anime characters called Kuni-kun, and I don't know a whole lot about it. I just know Super Dodgeball is awesome. And it says here the power shots were performed by inputting fighting style combos. So I'm guessing down, diagonal, forward, and an A button definitely did something. Probably a Z motion and an A button did something as well. I like Super Dodgeball. I don't have a whole lot to say about it. It's Super Dodgeball is such a good game. The next one I have here is Twinkle Star Sprites, which me and Lyle have played a lot of Super Puzzle Fighter.
Indeed.
And Lyle has gotten smoked quite a few times.
Don't lie to the people, though. Let it be known that I've smoked your ass a few times, too.
You have smoked my ass. But
and he also beat him in a video game.
Well,
Brandon, God damn it.
Twinkle. Now, okay, Lyle, you know how you know how Super Puzzle Fighter X works, right?
Indeed.
Now imagine Dodonpachi.
Yeah.
Now combine those two.
So it's a shooter?
It's a shooter, a competitive shooter, 2 players, and also has Tetris style gameplay in it.
That sounds crazy as shit.
It's awesome.
And what's the name of this?
Twinkle Star Sprites.
I'm just wondering if I have this.
It's
I'm gonna make a note of it.
Is like schizophrenia a prerequisite to being good at this game?
It doesn't hurt, let me tell you. It's the developer ADK, which is one of the main producer or publishers for the Neo Geo. It's their very last platform. It's also full of English. There is I don't have any quotes here, but let me just tell you, it's nuts.
It sounds crazy as shit. Like my mind just kind of got blown trying to fathom all that.
The whole concept is English.
Yeah.
No kidding.
Imagine, like I said, like Dodonpachi, which is a
shooter,
it's
bullet hell.
Bullet hell shooter with Puzzle Fighter. So you're fighting against each other, 2 players, and you're also trying to you've got a meter to fill to kill the other person. And it's best 2 out of 3 matches. It's awesome.
That sounds cool as shit.
The next one I have is Waku Waku 7. Me and Lyle played this pretty extensively.
Very cartoony fighter, 2D fighter.
I want to just read the plot of the game. The person who collects all 7 of the legendary Winnison balls will have the dearest wish granted. It's a fighting game with all the Dragon Ball Z tropes, but none of the power-up bullshit episodes.
None of the Super Saiyan shit.
Yeah. It has...
I'm so platinum blonde now.
It has 9 original characters. Dandy J is one of my favorite ones. It's a parody of Indiana Jones and Joseph Joestar from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, if anybody knows anything about anime.
Well, that's just Dandy.
Yeah, it really is. Then there's one of the other characters I play is Maruru, It's a parody of Totoro, and it's near an exact copy of the Darkstalkers Sasquatch character. Every single move.
Oh,
from
Darkstalkers.
Yeah, Darkstalkers. Like every single Sasquatch move is the exact same one. So if you know Darkstalkers, you know Maruru, and you can put somebody down pretty quick with it. Then there's also Bonus Coon. Bonus Coon shows up after in the story mode, shows after 4 fights. He is a anthropomorphic punching bag who technically has every single move that Ryu does, and taunts you as Ryu from Street Fighter. It's a complete direct lampoon of Ryu.
Nice.
Shoryuken!
Yeah, he has a Shoryuken, he has a Hadouken, he has a shipped up
Hadouken!
Yeah, he has everything, and he's a punching bag.
Instead of a hurricane kick, he's like, tsunami kick!
As a small aside, have you ever tried to Hadouken a fart?
Yeah, of course.
It works.
Of course
it works. You fart, you reach behind your ass, and then you Hadouken it. And it fucking works, dude.
You know who's really...
Have you done that to your wife?
Not yet.
You know who's notorious about that?
Who's-
One Mr. Adam Calloway, who I believe does the
Adam Calloway, for the listeners, Adam Calloway is our resident musician who has written some of the beautiful pieces that you'll probably hear tonight, actually.
Yeah, I've heard Adam Calloway.
And he's been on with us before, too.
Yeah. I've heard Adam Calloway Hadouken a girl before. And
I don't think it was the same thing we're talking about, though.
I know.
I think I've heard this story, too. This is a completely different ballgame.
No. I've heard him Hadouken a girl before with a fart. And it's quite hilarious when she's like, "What? Oh, God."
Oh, I can taste that one.
Okay, the next one I have here is Windjammers. Windjammers is
a terrible cable company for all of you.
No, not that Windjammer.
God, I hated them so much. I'm glad they're at least dead in Alabama. This part of Alabama.
I would read directly from the paper I have here in front of me. It is a Data East game. Essentially Pong, but awesome. Did I mention it was awesome? It is totally awesome. It is Pong, but
way more awesome.
Way more awesome. It's a great game. Imagine Pong and soccer and a lot of gym games that is on the Neo Geo. Is pretty good. It was the only game delisted off the Japanese Virtual Console on December 24th, 2013.
I'm just about Hadouken my dog off my nachos. I'm sorry. That was...
No, kid in my pot pie.
Mom, kitty's been a dildo.
But it has been the only Neo Geo game that has ever been delisted off the Virtual Console because there was so much interest in making a new Windjammers.
Huh.
That it could be, as long as Data East will release the rights to it, it might be remade into a Windjammers 2.
Is Data East even a company still? Or?
No, not anymore.
Or
but
they,
certain entities own the rights to it, and they're trying, like a group of homebrew guys are really trying to get the rights to it. It became really popular on Giant Bomb because they played a lot of Windjammers, and Windjammers is awesome. Like, I believe, Lamy and you have played it before on your MAME.
Have we?
Yeah, I think so. But
I'm making a note of it so I can play it again.
It's so good. There's a lot of different Pong style games that are good on the Neo Geo. Bang Bead and
wait a minute, Bang Bead?
Bang Bead, yeah. And I'm trying to
sounds
think
like a toy.
There's another one that I can't think right off the head of. I know Bang Bead's one of the better ones. What is the other one called? Powerball, I think, but I'm not sure. I can't remember right off. I like Bang Bead better. Windjammers is the pinnacle. Bang Bead is number 2. And then we get to Blazing Star, which is a sequel to the game called Polestar, which is really good too. It's a close cousin to the R-Type Gradius
I
franchise.
like Blazing Star very much.
Yeah, it makes extensive use of the 3D pre-rendered sprites. It has a lot of anime and CG cutscenes, and it is also a source of all the popular expression "fail," where the full game over message is, and I have this in quotes: "You fail it. Your skill is not enough. See you next time. Bye bye." It has a lot of "you fail" kind of English in it.
Yeah.
Like, meaning where they actually mean to say, like...
You fell it.
Or,
like, they're...
game over, they just mean you fail. And that's a lot of the internet expression came from that. Let's see if I have anything. Oh, and the lucky panels. If you can imagine Tony Hawk having the skate, the skate letters, there are lucky panels in this shooter, and you can pick them up, and that gives you a bonus to your power ups. It works really, really well. It's a great game. It's just a really, really good side scrolling shooter. And last but not least, I believe Lyle made a comment a couple podcasts ago about the pinnacle of fighting games.
And you were quick to correct me, because apparently, lo and behold, I was drunk and I fucked it up.
The pinnacle of fighting games is SNK versus Capcom Chaos Super Plus. It features characters from SNK and Capcom. A lot from SNK, a lot from Capcom. It includes King of Fighters, Samurai Showdown, Street Fighter, and Darkstalkers characters. Darkstalkers. That's tough
The alcohol's starting to work on you, too.
Yeah, it has. It has some of the best fighting games boss characters, including Geese Howard from King of Fighters, Mars People from Metal Slug 2, Serious Mr. Karate from Art of Fighting, Dan Hibiki and Violent Ken. Dan Hibiki being from Street Fighter Alpha 2, which he is super easy to beat. He's a mid-boss. And then Violent Ken, which is one of the toughest Kens to ever make an appearance in Street Fighter up until Street Fighter 4. And Shin Akuma, which is the bane of my fucking existence.
You can take Akuma from the other games and make him 1,000 times more badass. And that's still not what you're fucking dealing with in this game.
Shin Akuma is one of the cheapest fucking asshole characters of the entire fighting game universe.
It's pretty much that fucking player that hurricane kicks the shit out of you 15 times in one match.
And then hits a Raging Dragon 3 times, and you're like, how did that just do a 75% damage? And I've moved for approximately 4.5 seconds. He can hit a raging demon in the first 2 seconds of a match, because then his entire bar just immediately starts filling. And to get the Raging Dragon, you have to hit bar 1, and it's like watching a fucking Salty Bet match. It's so ridiculous. It is.
No, thank you.
It is. It's terrible. It's awful, and it's the best fucking game ever. Like, that is, I believe, the pinnacle of fighting games in the arcade era. I don't count Street Fighter 4 in the arcade era because they did make a Street Fighter 4 arcade game, but
there's like 10 of them. Yeah,
in the U.S., a lot of Korea and Japan, like the Capcom arcades in Japan got every one of them got like 5 to 8 arcade games. Korea got a lot of them, which is where they did a lot of the test markets for the Street Fighter 4 Arcade Edition, which had Evil Ryu, Shin Akuma, and Oni in it. Again, like in the arcade area, I think that is the best arcade game ever to make an appearance.
Nice.
And I think I've talked enough. That's all I got on the Neo Geo. It's I'm
glad you covered it, because I couldn't.
The one game I did want to throw in from some of my Neo Geo experience. Neo Turf Masters was a big one for me. I really like the King of Monsters.
Yeah.
Series.
Oh, yeah.
Big time.
I like that
I
one.
played the King of Monsters games, and I know Brandon, you like the King of Monsters.
Brendan's
games.
a kaiju man.
Yes.
Yeah,
So-
I like big kaiju games, but the controls to me seemed a little loose.
Well, from a technical standpoint, I'll admit it's not an amazing game. I just liked it because it's big ass monsters
Yeah.
punching each other.
There-
Yeah, and one of my favorite details of the King of Monsters game is the fact that, like, you know, the plane you're standing on is a fucking city.
Yeah.
So when you knock somebody over, you're leveling skyscrapers and buildings, and just, you know, that was a big deal to me.
It's really cool. I did play right before I came over. I played King of Monsters because I wanted to give it a second chance to see if it would make the list, and I would have added it. But this is a personal list. I like this King of Monsters. It's not a bad game by any means. I think there's only 3 bad games on the Neo Geo. One of them is Cross Swords, which is terrible.
Sounds like something you do when you're drunk in college with another guy.
It's a first person RPG.
Never done it.
It's a first person RPG
No
game.
people have done it.
I have a friend.
Yeah, precisely.
Yeah, Cross Swords is not a good game. Neither is there's a quiz game. I want to say it's like Quiz Majo or something like that, but it's all in Japanese. That's the only reason I don't like it.
Prehistoric Isles is a good Neo Geo game to me. Like, it's horizontal shooter, and you pretty much somebody opens a fucking time gate, and you're flying your fucking 1939 almost Wright Brothers airplane, and you get transported into dinosaur days, and you shoot dinosaurs and cavemen, and it's fucking hilarious because when you shoot the dinosaurs, they go wah and explode into flames, and when you shoot the cavemen, they go wah and just burn up like from the inside out. They spontaneously combust.
Why don't these developers know about evolution? I shouldn't be here.
Precisely. Cavemen weren't even real.
There's another good fight or another good shooter on the Neo Geo called Captain Tomate or something like that. It's
Captain Tomato.
Yeah, you're basically Captain Tomato. You're a tomato that instead of shooting, you actually punch. If you imagine Rayman.
Wait a minute, you're literally a tomato?
Yes, you are literally.
Fuck, I just guessed that.
You are literally a tomato, and you are punching evil vegetables.
Are you sure you're not figuratively a tomato?
No, you're literally a tomato.
Okay. Just had to clear that up.
I'm glad.
Jesus, asshole.
I'm glad.
We did clear that up. I am an asshole. So,
yeah, you are.
Opinions are like assholes. Everybody's got one.
I'll show you mine if you want me to.
Don't.
Yeah, he's Captain Tomato is a it's a really cool shooter. Instead of guns, you have your fists. And if you hold if you hold the A button down, you actually punch back and forth. You cycle through both of your fists and punch. And if you imagine like Rayman, where there's not any connectors in between them, and you can get multiple Captain Tomatoes, so you can have up to, I want to say 3. I know at least 2. I haven't made it that far into the game. But you can have 2 Captain Tomatoes who are punching vegetables. It's pretty cool. I'm trying to think of any of the other strange games. Like I said, Cross Swords is terrible. If you can imagine like a first person Dragon Slayer.
Oh shit. Dude, I just randomly thought about it. There's a Neo Geo game that I want to talk about. Fuck, I cannot think of the name of it. Maybe you can help me. It's like Irritating Stick for PlayStation.
It's called
it's your
Irabu, Densei Irabu, Ultra Densei Irabu. Yeah, it's called the Irritating Stick. Yes. I have it on my main.
It's based on a Japanese game show where it's essentially like a huge game of Operation. You move a small cursor circle through a fucking maze, and if you touch the sides of the maze, you blow up.
How far have you made it into it?
To level 2.
I've made it to the slot machine, and that's it.
I can get past the slot machine. But
You make it to the first checkpoint, and then after that...
I can get past all that. The second level, starting out, there is a level, or a part of the level where you move into, like, you know how the fan things rotate?
Yeah.
Circular? Well, these rotate like that, but you're in a contained box that moves on a rail the entire time, so you're having to dodge shit and move within the box that's moving. It's fucking impossible using a joystick.
That's actually supposed to be a trackball game.
Oh, God. Dude, it seems like it'd be so much harder on fucking trackball, even than a joystick.
It's supposed to be a trackball game. Originally, it came out for a trackball arcade machine in Japan, and then Neo Geo bought the rights to it and put it on an 8-way stick. And, it is
the irritating maze, Uchan, Nachan, no Ono, no Challenger, Ultra, Dinritu, Irio, Bo. I don't know what the fuck I just said, but it's an irritating game.
It's like a Dentra Irobirobo. It's tough. It's really tough.
It's a fun. It holds its namesake. It's fun.
It's
but
a
it's
fun game.
Fucking irritating.
It is really fucking irritating. I always get the woman because there's a man and a woman, and nobody wants to see a man get shocked. Everyone wants to see a woman get electrocuted.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
Who doesn't?
Continuing our misogyny on this podcast.
Heck yeah.
Isn't that why I was kicked off this podcast?
Yeah.
Or was it dropping the N-bomb?
Lyle's done the same thing.
Yeah, I did.
When I was on it.
Mine was a little bit different context. Anyways.
Well, none of y'all meant it in a bad way.
We're not racist scum. Like,
I've got black friends.
None of us are voting for Donald Trump or anything. Anywho, we're not getting into that.
Yep.
That's Neo Geo for you, though. We'll have to get a little deeper into it on the second go around when me and Brandon actually play some more shit. I'm thankful you're here, though, Josh.
Yeah.
Like, that helped us out.
Like I said, I don't.
Listomania was a success, brother.
I don't want to be a pony boy, as you said.
I didn't mean to call you pony boy. Goddammit.
I accepted that was the alcohol talking, but yeah, I know. Yeah, I know a lot about the Neo Geo. I just don't want to sound like one of these index finger touching my glasses and pushing them up.
You're cooler than the actual pony boy. So,
you know, Tom.
I think it's time to get sexy.
Yeah,
a little sexy.
Yeah.
You know what would make you feel real good right now?
Touching my balls.
It's getting a little steamy.
Hot and steamy.
Oh, I thought we were doing something else.
That's later.
You thought so, yeah.
That's for the bonus episode. Or the boner episode.
That's a special features.
Hot and steamy is my segment where I'm on a quest of epic proportions to play every game in my Steam library before I buy another game.
And the bad thing is, dude, like, I'm directing this toward Josh because I've seen it. Brandon's Steam library is not something to be taken lightly, nor to be fucked with.
I can imagine because I know Steam sales are frequent and often.
It's goddamn ridiculous.
And it's been painful because I see them going for sale. I didn't buy a single game through Thanksgiving and Christmas.
I'm only going to say...
why buy games when you got that fucking many you haven't even played
exactly.
yet?
You can do no harm in buying The Witness. I've heard nothing but good things about it.
Well, I can't buy... I want to buy Undertale really bad, but I can't do it.
I've heard a lot of good things about Undertale.
Yeah. Tonight's Undertaking for Hot and Steamy. It's a really good game. It's on... it's coming to PS4, but it's PC right now. It's Broforce.
Oh yeah, Broforce. Yeah, Broforce.
I think I've heard a little bit about this.
Broforce is really good.
Yeah, it's definitely retro styled graphics. You couldn't pin it down to a certain area because it's got some that you would say is almost 32-bit style graphics and the overhead map. It's got the actual gameplay is more of 8-bit almost, but then there's like character pictures and stuff that's more definitely 16-bit. So it's not nailed down to one area.
It's a good blend of the 8-bit and 16-bit generations.
Yes.
Kind
of.
It's like your Sega and Nintendo all in one pot.
Nice.
But the basic gameplay, and I haven't played all the modes yet. I've only played single-player campaign so far. It's just a side-scrolling shooter where you can destroy anything in the environment. And as the name is, Broforce, every character in this game is a bro version of like an action movie hero.
Nice.
I wrote down all the ones I've unlocked so far. It was Bro Mando, Brodale Walker.
Yeah, I'm totally down with it.
Awesome.
There's Bro Hard.
Yeah.
McBrover, which is MacGyver who throws dynamite, or he throws big giant turkeys filled with dynamite.
You can't see under the table, but I'm stroking my jeans where my penis would be.
There's Brode Blade. There's Bro Dread. There is Snake Broskin. There's the Brominator.
Snake. Dude, you had me at Snake Broskin.
Indiana Brones.
Yes.
Brobocop. And my favorite, even though the name isn't that great, my favorite character so far was Bro in Black. He is Will Smith with the noisy cricket, and it is hard fucking
nice.
core.
Fuck, like one little blast annihilates so much. Oh,
it does that.
awesome.
That is one of
That's
the best
awesome.
scenes in Men in Black, where he's just like, I get the noisy cricket. What the fuck is it?
That's the gun you want.
Yeah.
Trust me.
And it knocks you back. Like, it knocks you back so much force you can kind of keep yourself afloat in the air by shooting it.
Nice.
Oh, that's awesome. That adds a whole tactical edge
Yeah.
to it then.
So many fucking explosions and over-the-top gore. Just you can just sit there, if you have like a minigun, like a Brominator has a minigun, it pushes himself back too, but it fires so fast that he can sit there and disintegrate an enemy by just mowing into him.
Nice.
They die, and as you just shoot their body, they just disintegrate into smaller pixels.
Fuck yeah.
But yeah, it's a side-scrolling shooter / platformer. You got to be careful not to destroy too much of the platform, or you can't get across anywhere. But you can climb up walls because all your bros have like I guess a Bromando knife. You just stab into the wall, and you can hold yourself on there briefly and kind of jump your way up.
Can you throw a pipe through anybody?
Not yet. I'm sure there's a character somewhere.
Is there a metal tunic?
I don't think so.
Let me ask you something real quick. What's the view of this game?
It's side-scroller.
Okay, nice. Awesome.
Every bro has their own special weapons, but they play about the same. The more unique ones was McBrover, who throws dynamite. He's kind of hard to use, but his special move was he'd throw turkey stuffed with dynamite, and all the enemies would come around it. And,
To feast.
yeah, and then they get blown the fuck up.
Nice.
Brominator would go full Terminator mode, like he loses skin, and you're just a super badass for a short time and that. Your lives in the game are different bros, so like you're basically going through all these like jungle commando levels, and you'll see cages with people in them, and if you save them, you just blow the cage open and get the hostage. It's a new life for you, and when you get a new life, you get a new bro. So it could be a brand new one that you can unlock, or it could be one of the ones you've already unlocked. But basically, it kind of adds more of a strategy element to it, because if you got a bro you really like to use, like I love Bro in Black, I don't want to pick up a new life because it'll change my bro. But at the same time, if I got no lives left,
You're game over, man.
yeah. And when you lose a life, you also change bros. And it's not the bro that you might have had before. So it's just kind of random.
Well, that's kind of cool, though. That adds, like, you got to be a little tactical in the way you play the game then, right?
Yeah, especially in some levels. Like, the enemies' range, most of them are these basic commandos wielding AK-47s, real easy to kill. But there's also, like, attack dogs, and they move really quickly, kill you in one hit. Well, everything kills you in one hit. There's also these big meaty guys with miniguns. There's tanks. There's APCs. All kinds of shit. And I know one of the bosses was an attack helicopter. Some bros cannot deal with these enemies. Like McBrover, throwing dynamite at a helicopter doesn't work too great. But, some are just better than others in different situations. So you do kind of have to think about what you're doing. I know there's a multiplayer to this game, and it looks amazing. Haven't got to it yet, though, because I wanted to play through the whole campaign. There's very little story to it. Everything's just like a one-liner, go America mission. All the checkpoints in the game are American flags.
Hell yeah.
Yes. When you beat a level, it starts playing this, like, high speed metal. Just like sounds like the fucking Power Rangers theme song. Just
Nice.
Go Power Rangers.
It's really over the top speed metal. It's awesome. The game's is the fucking blast. I think it's $15. Worth every fucking penny of it.
Yeah, it's. From what I've seen of it, it sounds like it's an awesome game.
I know when we
I have not played
interviewed
it.
Mike Kennedy, he mentioned this. So maybe if the Coleco Chameleon becomes a thing, we might see it on there. It'd be definitely one I'd like to have on that. So yeah, pick up Broforce on your PC. It's like I said, it's like an 8-bit, 16-bit style game. So if you have a PC, chances are it'll run it.
Nice.
And it's coming to PS4 this year. They haven't announced the actual date. Just TBA's 2016.
I know.
So,
I just want to announce as far as like coming to Rocket League is coming to Xbox One.
Yeah.
And I'm super excited.
Thank God. That's one game that me and Brandon got to play on his PC that
Rocket League
really
is so
happy
fun.
about.
I hope it runs as well as it did on the PC, because as long as it does,
it should, because my buddy, he's been on here, Juice. He can play it on his dreadfully outdated PC. So Xbox One can do it.
yeah.
so maybe even my PC with Steam on it might.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves now, Lyle.
His PC is
Son
two
of a-
sticks.
Son of a
His
bitch.
PC has a real processor. It doesn't have a mobile processor.
It's two sticks rubbing each other together.
One of
trying
those down there couldn't run it?
Are those XP machines?
Yes.
I doubt it.
Okay.
I have a Windows 7 machine.
Could probably do it.
Well, we're not all part of the PC master race, you motherfucker.
I have been known to fuck mothers. In fact, I'm married to one.
Touche.
Yeah, touche.
Well, it's time for our question of the week, I suppose.
Yeah, I hear a lot of good ramblings from Brandon about our Google Plus.
Yeah, Google Plus came through for us. Those guys, I'm still getting notifications of answers.
That's awesome.
You want to read off our Facebook answers first? You wanna pull it up?
I do. We have a couple here. Let me.
I can't possibly read off all of the Google Plus answers we got. So,
You want to pick from the best
yes,
ones?
I'm going to pick some of the best ones. There's a lot of people just naming off like one-line title games. I mean, I'm sorry, guys, but I can't go through all of them.
Well, I'm trying to pull the Facebook up right now.
Well, I'll go through. The question of the week was.
Oh yeah, I should probably.
Yeah, what game as a child? What got you into gaming?
Yeah, what is your earliest gaming memory that drew you into being a gamer?
I know mine was Frogger for the 2600. I
Nice.
loved Frogger for the 2600. I think that was the very first actual console that I owned. My mother's ex-husband had a Atari 2600, and man, Frogger. I still play things like Crossy Road and Shooty Cat or whatever it is. I play it constantly. I love Frogger, and it's such a simple.
Yeah.
It's a simple concept, and it's super addicting. I can't make it past the third level in Frogger.
It gets fucking hectic.
It gets really tough. Kicks was another one. I love Kicks. I guess just making squares. I like Minecraft too. So making squares is always the best thing that I really, really enjoy. What about you, Lyle?
My two things that really got me into gaming was I got an NES before I knew what gaming was. I guess I got a Nintendo when I was like 4 years old, and watching my grandfather play, they bought me Ninja Turtles for NES because I was into Ninja Turtles.
Which one?
The very first one.
Yeah, the very first
the impossibly. I mean, well, they're all impossibly difficult, but the first one.
Yeah.
And that was a big deal for me. But what really got me pumped was watching my grandfather play Zelda, because he, the old NES Zelda come with a map, and the map has a bunch of blank spaces on it. My grandfather meticulously went through, and it sucks shit because I cannot find the map anywhere. But he went through on my map and hand filled out and drew in the blank spaces of the map that were missing. Like, he was just that knowledgeable about Zelda, you know. Watching him do that and watching my aunt play Galaga and literally watching my aunt get to, like, level 130 on Galaga on NES was, like, what really just fucking, I guess, threw me into the middle of it. Because I was just like, God, y'all are so good, you know, that's how I want to be. I want to get good at this. That's kind of what made me fall into it. What about you, Brando?
See, I've played games regularly before this, but the game that really changed my taste in games was Earthbound. Before then, I played, RPG here and there.
And I will go ahead and toot your horn a little bit. Brandon is one of the best fucking gamers I have ever witnessed, period. Especially when it comes to RPGs.
Well, I appreciate that.
Yeah, I'm serious. Like, you's a bad motherfucker when it comes to that shit.
Earthbound is the first RPG that, like, this really, really sucked me in. And since then, I love RPGs, especially the older, like, JRPG style games. This open world stuff is still good, but it's, Chrono Trigger, Earthbound, Super Mario RPG, man. If I had them 3 games to play the rest of my life, I would die a happy man.
Nice.
They just don't get old to me.
Nice. Well, a couple of our listeners answered us on our Facebook where we, page where we post our question. Lynn Green commented that my earliest memory would be watching my dad play Eye of the Beholder on his computer.
Nice.
Yeah. That's
old school right there.
That is a tough fucking game.
He said we used to have to get grid paper and draw out our own maps of the dungeons.
Yeah.
We had stacks of them. Looking back at this well, shit, I read that wrong. Looking back, that is the point of my life that drew me into gaming. That's what Lynn said.
That's awesome.
Very nice. Old school. And other listener, Jeffrey Allen Hargrove, said, mine is probably going to be watching my dad play Zelda 1 on the NES. I was blown away by it at the time, and then we got a Sega Master System, and I've been addicted ever since.
Sweet.
So very nice. Very nice. You wanna?
Yeah, I remember having duck hunt high score contest with my sister as a kid too.
Oh yeah, like on the
Oh,
NES.
I can imagine playing any game with a gun against your sister.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna Rambo the fuck out of
You
this.
sound like you want to shoot Brandon's sister.
No comment.
With a light gun.
I'm pretty sure she doesn't like me or Brendan.
I'm pretty sure she could outshoot us both, probably. But
probably she's up there on rank on guns. So
I want to read some of the Google Plus ones. Airman the First Hunter said playing Crash Bandicoot with my mom as a kid. Crash Bandicoot was awesome.
Oh, Crash Bandicoot's so good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is really good.
Heriberto Irizarry, I'm sorry if I mispronounced your name. So Mario 64 is the taller with my father, which I like a lot because I've been playing Mario Kart with my own kids. It's just a blast. Those are great games to play with kids.
What game?
Mario Kart 64.
Oh yeah, that's a really good game.
Yeah, dude, that's a great entry point into the 64.
Especially, one of the things I hate most about Mario Kart is one of the things that make it so great for playing it with kids is how you can get fucked over so hard.
Exactly.
So I'm like,
somebody gets that fucking one shell that just
blue shell,
the blue
battle shell,
with the
yeah.
spikes and
because
shit.
I'm playing against my kids. I'm a grown man. I'm getting first place every time, but every now and then, blue shell comes and rapes me, and then one of my kids gets ahead of me, and they just get such a thrill out of it.
You gotta learn to jump right as it
They're
hits
just like,
you.
we just kicked Dad's ass.
Yep. I'm like, yeah, you lucky little fuckers.
Yeah, I guess he's going to bed without dinner.
Let's see.
I was gonna say no cream pie for you, but I guess that's terrible, isn't it?
A
Yes.
little bit.
Zeo Derek
actual
says,
cream pie.
my dad was a mechanic, and in the waiting room of his garage, there was an arcade cabinet that we rigged to play for free. I'd go to work with him and play that thing for hours. I had some similar
That's
experiences over in the Coleman Flea Market here. There's a guy who had a Goonies arcade cabinet set on free play. I'd play that thing all the time. When we
That's
went there.
awesome.
So when I was a kid, I worked at a gas station in South Alabama, and they had a pinball machine. that was rigged up to play like it was Simpsons arcade or Simpsons pinball.
Yeah.
On free play, and they had it in the back. Nobody else could play it, so it was just basically me and 2 other guys who were mechanics in the small engine shop that was right next to it. And man, I remember smoking some ass when it comes to pinball, like Simpsons pinball.
Sweet. Jacob Butchko says, accidentally deleting my 97% completed Lego Star Wars save on the GameCube because I didn't know how to read. That shit makes me feel old, too.
Yeah, it really does.
Oh, wait a minute. He didn't know how to read because he was a fucking child.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Jacob.
No, I didn't mean it like that. Like,
I do believe he was a child.
I didn't mean it like that. Like, it just struck me. I'm like,
I got
wow.
my frontal lobotomy when I was 18 years old.
I didn't mean it like that. I'm sorry.
That's cool.
I'm sorry, Jeffrey. I didn't.
Smasher LTIMT says, playing Donkey Kong Country 2 Diddy Kong's Quest with my little sister and constantly losing to the Flaming Sword boss.
Oh, I remember that Flaming Sword boss. That was terrible. It was a good boss, but
Alexander Snyder, Solaris on the Atari is probably one of the last games my family bought for the Atari. It was also one, if not the most played Atari game my family ever enjoyed. First game it's the first game that received countless non-interrupted hours of gameplay in our house. It was even hard to get my mom to share. Good memories, thanks. So yeah, you're welcome, Alexander. Thanks for the answer.
Mine was Cubert. My mother loved Cubert, and with the Atari 2600 keyboard or stick, shit. Oh, I got a buzz. On the Atari 2600 stick, my mother loved Cubert, and that's where I get my love of Cubert now. Me and Lyle went to an arcade a couple weeks ago and played some Cubert, and I got top score on it, and smoked all the fools that were on there. Who knows who were actually real fools and computer fools?
There's somebody probably in Huntsville right now hearing you say that. Well, they're not hearing it yet, but when they hear you say this, they're probably going to be like, I know where to go now to kill all these people that keep beating my fucking Cubert score.
And I will go back and smoke you, fool.
They're like, I'm going to smoke you.
I got just a few more I'll read. Aaron H. says, jumping onto the top level in World 1-2 of Super Mario Bros. On the NES, which takes you to the 3 warp pipes. Showing me that in gaming there is no boundaries and can be a mystery and surprising accomplishment.
Indeed. Very well spoken as well.
Grimlock Short says, Pac-Man Racing, I had a PS2, so I didn't know any of these Mario Kart's Wizardcraft people would talk about. That's, again, makes me feel so old that the PS2 is his first gaming experience.
PS2's got some years on it.
It
now.
does, but
I remember where I was living when I got that PS2, and I'm just like, it doesn't seem like that long.
No,
though.
it don't.
Did you stand in line for your PS2?
No, I didn't.
Brandon, did you?
No. I never had a PlayStation.
See,
I've never owned a PlayStation, except recently.
Fun story about PlayStation 2, on a side note, my mom and dad wrapped it for Christmas. I knew what the box looked like, and there was a blue little corner sticking out, and I knew it was a PlayStation 2. And Brandon thought he was getting a PlayStation 2 for Christmas and bought Grand Theft Auto 3, and did not get a PlayStation 2 for Christmas, and therefore gave Grand Theft Auto 3 to me. Thank you to this day, Brandon.
I stood in line for my PlayStation 2.
Because you're a fool.
Yeah. Well, I'm also old.
I'm just
I stood in line for my PS1. The first Nintendo system I got for as a gift was my Super Nintendo. I helped stand in line for my Nintendo because my mom was really into it. She thought there was going to be a Cubert on Nintendo. Actually, yeah. She was really into the idea of video games because she was a single mother who worked a lot. She had to have some kind of release.
Yeah.
She bonded with the kids over Cubert. And
I do the same thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a great way to blow some steam off and spend time with my kids.
Yeah. Super Nintendo, I got it. That was one of the ones that was gifted to me. But for every other one, I was either in line or old enough, again, with an NES, I was not old enough to remember being in line, but I was in line for it. My mom bought it at I believe a Toys R Us when it came out. I can't say that it was directly the release date of the NES, but it was when Toys R Us said, "Hey, we're going to have these NESs here." But yeah, I've stood in line for a lot of my video. I think 360 I didn't stand in line for, but that was about it. Everything else I've stood in line for, waiting to get it.
Nice.
One last one I'll read. I Am Joe says, Donkey Kong with the Atari 2600 on Christmas morning, decades ago. I played it so much that my parents made me do it without sound because it irritated them. So that's a dreadful port, but it's funny how, as a kid, these things don't matter. Especially back then, because what else are you going to do?
I know,
I'll go on and add to his comment, though, like, Donkey Kong 2600 is a really, really dreadful port, like you said. But it's still fun as shit to play on the Atari.
Yeah, I mean,
for an Atari game, it is
especially when you look back in that era and your choices back then. Like, okay, I could play Donkey Kong at home or nothing, you know. So as a kid, these things are a lot cooler. Than we're able to look at it now with this perspective. Well, I got all these different versions I can choose from.
Mine was Pac-Man. Like, I know Pac-Man 2600 was terrible. Like, horrible. Yeah, give me that look, Lyle. I know you know.
It is the cream of the crop of shit.
Yeah. But
it's the shit of the crop.
Like, I loved Pac-Man for the longest time until I met my wife, and she told me what Pac-Man was all about because she can smoke some ass on some Pac-Man. So it was one of those things where I was like, I love Pac-Man until I met somebody who was actually in love with Pac-Man.
And you're like, fuck this, I give up.
Yeah, I'll play the fast hack version of it where she can play Miss Pac-Man and just completely, like, not even pay attention and totally, like, get through about 30 screens before she's like, oh, this is actually starting to get a little bit tough.
I want to play Demetrius and some Miss Pac-Man with Speed Hack.
With Speed Hack, she's not as good with Speed Hack. That's the issue.
See, I'm better with Speed Hack.
Pac-Man Championship Edition DX. Come out for the Xbox 360. I think it's.
I know it's on PC.
I had it on 360.
I got it on PC.
Yeah, CEDX.
Oh my god, dude!
She doesn't like it. She's like, "This is not the true Pac-Man."
It's not.
Yeah, and
it's flashy bells and whistles version.
It's
of
fun,
Pac-Man.
but
exactly.
it's not Pac-Man.
It's fun.
Pac-Man thing.
It's just kind of like Pac-Man Battle Royale that me and Brandon played. Like, that was amazing, fucking fun as shit. But it's not traditional Pac-Man.
Yeah, I feel the same way. And then she sits down at a cocktail table at Pasquale's in Pac-Man, and she's like, "Oh, give me 45 minutes, and I'll use this 1/4 up." So yeah, she has.
I'm pretty sure I broke the joystick at the Pasquale's Pac-Man. It's a little loose to the left now, if you notice.
Well, she's got my arcade machine, so she's put Miss Pac-Man on, and she's like, "Oh yeah." Between Miss Pac-Man and Dr. Mario, like, I tell you what, I put some money up on my wife as far as when it comes to Miss Pac-Man and Dr. Mario.
I still want to play her.
Son, you can come over to the house and play anytime you want.
I would love to. I just like competitive gaming. I don't give a fuck. I'll show up and
what's our next question of the week?
I've got it. I've had it.
Let me write this down. Where's my pen at?
Here's a pen.
Thank you.
Slap it.
I've been thinking about this since we were talking about our question of the week was, of course, what was your earliest gaming memory? What got you into gaming? The question this week: what is the game that pissed you off so fucking much you wanted to quit gaming?
Okay.
What's one game that is so frustrating and difficult to you that is literally just made you think about throwing the towel in altogether?
Can I propose an alternate?
What's that?
What's the game you're best at? Because I know, like, I'm pretty good at, like, Sexy Parodius. I'm not top of the world, but I'm pretty good at it. As far as modern games go, my wife is number 31 in the world as far as Rock Band 4 goes. And Rock Band 3, she's in the top 100. And a lot of those first 30 or 40 are probably hacked. So, what do you think you're the best at?
Mario, the first one.
You're
I'll
really...
stomp anybody's ass in this room. I haven't met many other people that can speed run the shit like I can.
Exactly. Like, and I trust me.
I'm not the best one on the fucking planet.
Let's add a little bit more to that question. What is the game what is the game that you're best at, and what is your biggest accomplishment in it? 'Cause a little more depth the answer.
I agree.
I've made it to the 5th level of Sexy Parodius with 1/4, like, right now. And that took me 4.5 hours.
I'm really good at the Lawnmower Man on the SNES, too, and nobody gives me credit on that.
Because nobody gives a shit.
Fuck you, the Lawnmower Man for a cheap piece of shit game is excellent.
So, this to get this clear, which question of the week we want to go with?
Either one of them.
It don't matter.
Question
do
1.
One this week, one next week. Which one you want to do this week? Flip a bottle cap.
Flip a bottle cap.
Black side. We'll do yours. Okay, so we'll go with Lyle's this week, Josh's next week.
Well, that's good.
So our official question of the week to y'all listeners, sorry for the confusion, what game or games do you find so frustrating that it made you consider quitting gaming?
Indeed.
Or at least made you take a break for a while.
Yeah, like just not... I mean,
like you just had to fucking walk away and realize I can go outside and do something.
You had to fucking let your blood pressure re-regulate itself.
Just because you're fat doesn't mean everybody has blood pressure problems.
I'm fat and my blood pressure is amazing.
I actually don't really have blood pressure problems.
Your face looks really red. As you
It's called
spill beer,
alcohol.
as you spill beer everywhere.
So I'm going to kill somebody one day over making fat jokes to me. I'm just going to lose my cool and blow their fucking head off in traffic. Anywho.
People making fat jokes to you in traffic?
Fuck you too, Brandon. Okay, let me rephrase that. One of these days, I'm going to kill one of my own kind. Another fat man.
I'm skinny, so I'm cool. Don't look at me like that.
I'm prejudiced against you two, motherfucker.
I used to be fat. Then I discovered methamphetamines.
See, I'm not that big of a loser. But anywho, all jokes and fun aside.
Horse cockery.
You can find us always, like, at goodoldgamers.com.
Yep.
Facebook group, Good Old Gamers Podcast. Stitcher, Good Old Gamers Podcast. iTunes, Good Old Gamers Podcast. It'd be really nice if people would listen and give us reviews. That would be great.
Reviews are awesome. Also, we're on Twitter and Google Plus. Twitter at Good Old Gamers, Google Plus. The URL system on Google Plus is screwed. Just look for Good Old Gamers Podcast.
You'll find us on there. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, wherever you're listening to it, be it YouTube, iTunes.
Yeah, we're on YouTube as well.
Give us likes, shares, reviews, stars, whatever it may be. Give them to us.
We need
Please.
it. Whether you
Full
like
max
us,
on everything.
Indeed. Yes. Whether you like us or hate us, let us know.
Yeah.
We'd just be happy to know what you think. That's fine. Thank you for everybody on Google Plus. We're kind of new to Google Plus.
Yes, we are.
And we're very excited that we got as many responses as we did. So thank you.
Way better response than other social media. So I'm going to start focusing more on the Google Plus.
Thank you very much. Thank you to Mr. Josh Duncan for being on with us tonight.
It's like I used to be on this show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of a natural at it.
So
awkward.
Well, how about that awkward silence?
That was really awkward. I do believe at this point in the show we have a sign off, and I think I'll go with it.
Do it.
Do it, man.
Game over, man. Game over.